This meeting will come to order. We are now holding the annual meeting of Business Professionals of America, Michigan Association. Madam Vice President, what are the major purposes of our professional organization?
We recognize the importance and understand the contributions that have been made to our country by business professionals. We are preparing to take our place in these challenging positions. We work together in Business Professionals of America to develop essential competencies in leadership, scholarship, character, and citizenship so that we may share in the improvements of our economy and the advancement of our nation.
May we accomplish these objectives? Madam Vice President, will you please introduce the officers?
With pleasure, I introduce State President Jonathan Haynes, State Secretary Treasurer Lily Sheeline, State Parliamentarian Emily LaShawn, State Historian Jessica Morgan, Vice President of Membership Meredith Moore, Vice President of Communications Jake DeVos Roy, Vice President of Community Service Ethan Bixler Smith, Vice President of Chapter Activities Taylor A. Meck, and myself, Executive Vice President Dina Zhu. Mr. President, all officers are at their stations.
Will the members and friends please rise and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, followed by the Business Professionals of America pledge as shown on screen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Fellow members and guests, please join me in reciting the Business Professionals of America pledge as shown on screen. We are met in a spirit of friendship and goodwill as we prepare for careers in a world-class workforce. We work together to develop professionalism and leadership through Business Professionals of America and pledge our loyalty to our nation. Please be seated. The first item of business is the reports of the conference committees. The chair recognizes Vice President Membership Meredith Moore to present the Credentials Committee report.
Mr. President, attached is a list of names of the voting members of the conference as of 6:30 p.m. The committee reports that there are the following number of voting delegates entitled to vote, 170. In addition, the committee reports the following number of non-voting delegates present. Elected officers, 9. Past presidents of Michigan BPA, 7. Past national officers, 3. Alumni, 51. Chapter members, 1,785. Guests, 317. Total number in attendance, 2,342. On behalf of the committee, I move that the roll of delegates hereby submitted be the official roll of voting and non-voting members and guests of the conference.
Are there any questions on the report? Hearing none, we will proceed to vote on the Credentials Committee report. All voting delegates in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The report is adopted. The chair recognizes State Secretary Treasurer, State Parliamentarian Emily LaShawn to present the Conference Standing Rules Committee report.
The Conference Standing Rules Committee reports and presents the following standing rules for this annual conference. 1. Directly after the opening ceremonies of the annual business meeting, the Credentials Committee shall report the number of delegates registered as present with proper credentials and shall make a supplementary report prior to adjourning the annual business meeting. 2. Voting delegates shall be required to wear a voting delegate ribbon issued by Credentials Committee in order to be seated in the delegate session of the Assembly Hall. 3. Voting delegates that leave before the conclusion of the annual business meeting and opening session shall lose their voting privileges for the remainder of the conference. Alternates or proxies are not allowed. 4. Identification name badges and wristbands issued at the conference shall be worn for admission to all meetings, workshops, and conference events. Badges or wristbands may not be transferred. 5. Voting delegates wishing to speak shall stand and state their name and school. Upon being recognized, the delegate shall state their business. 6. All main motions and amendments thereto shall be written, signed by the mover, and given to the secretary after being stated by the president. 7. No member may speak more than once on the same question or for longer than 2 minutes. In the case of a maker of a motion and the first speaker in opposition to it, 3 minutes shall be allowed. Individuals called on to provide information or to make reports are not governed by this rule. 8. The president shall appoint a committee of 3 to read and approve the conference minutes. 9. Nominations from the floor for officer elections will not be allowed. 10. The delegate code of conduct and dress code previously published in the conference registration material and in the conference program will be hereby approved, and the reading of these documents to the assembly shall not be required. By direction of the Conference Standing Rules Committee, I move the adoption of the standing rules as just read.
Are there any questions on the report? Hearing none, we will proceed to a vote. Adoption of the standing rules requires a 2/3 vote. All voting delegates in favor of adopting the standing rules report, please rise. Be seated. Those opposed, please rise. Be seated. There are 2/3 in the affirmative, and the standing rules are adopted. The chair recognizes State Historian Jessica Morgan to present the Program Committee report.
Mr. President, an electronic version of the program as proposed by the Program Committee is available on the Michigan BPA SLC website to each registrant of the conference. By direction of the committee, I move the adoption of the program.
Are you ready for the question? The question is on the adoption of the conference program. All voting delegates in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The report is adopted. At this time, the chair announced that he appoints Jake DeVos-Roy, Jessica Morgan, and Ethan Bixler-Smith to serve as the Minutes Approval Committee. The chair now recognizes State Secretary Treasurer Lily Sheline to report on the minutes of the 2015 Annual Conference and to present the Treasurer's report.
The minutes of the 2015 Annual Conference were reviewed and approved by the Minutes Approval Committee. A copy of the minutes is available upon request from the State Office. There are currently 4,358 members in the Michigan Association. A complete financial report is available upon request from the State Office.
Voting delegates. As representatives of your chapter, you will be responsible for electing the 2016-2017 State Executive Council. Each candidate was interviewed earlier today and completed a state officer quiz. During the opening session, each candidate will speak on a topic given to them this morning. In addition, the candidates will answer one question on stage during this session. Each candidate will be evaluated as they speak. We will be looking for confidence, appearance, character, poise, and speaking ability. These are a few of the essential qualities of an executive council team member. This year, candidates will be ranked on a point system by the current State Executive Council, State Officer Coordinator, and State Director, also known as the Appointment Committee. The point system will be as follows. Candidates will be ranked on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the least possible points and 5 being the most possible points available. Candidates will not be slated for a specific office. All candidates will campaign for the opportunity to serve Michigan BPA. Only the candidates receiving a majority vote from the voting delegates will be placed in specific offices by the Appointment Committee. After the conclusion of the opening session, the candidates will be ranked by the current State Executive Council on the basis of their application, recommendations, interview, impromptu question, and speech. We ask you to be consistent in evaluating each candidate's speech. This is extremely important as you are electing the next leaders of the Michigan Association of Business Professionals of America. Voting delegates must be present during the entire voting delegates and opening sessions. If you leave either session, you will forfeit the votes for your chapter. Taylor.
We would like to introduce the candidates that are seeking an office on the 2016-2017 State Executive Council. Please stand when your name is called and proceed on stage. John Perot, Escanaba High School. David Burkhart, Flushing High School. Spencer Hoffman, Bay Aranac ISD AM. Justin Kelly, Clarenceville High School. Mary Pufal, Swan Valley High School. Brandon Markle, Byron High School. Jacob Thurkelson, Bedford High School. Arhat Shrivastava, H.H. Dow High School. Jordan Smith, Newaygo County Career Center. Jessica Ruby, DeWitt High School. Emily Reeves, Ithaca High School. Saveri Nadingama, Mercy High School. Alexander Hill, St. John's High School. Benjamin Englehart, Pensacola Technology Center. At this point, each candidate will choose an impromptu question from the bowl. They will have 30 seconds to answer the question. John Perot, Escanaba High School. Which celebrity do you identify most with? Which celebrity do you identify most with?
Hello, everyone. The celebrity I identify the most with would be Marcus Lemonis. He is the star of The Prophet because he helps a lot of businesses, and I like that side of business, being able to go into a current business and being able to help them. Thank you.
David Burkhart, Flushing High School. If you had to lose one of your 5 senses, what would it be and why? If you had to lose one of your 5 senses, what would it be and why?
Hello, everybody. If I had to lose one of my 5 senses, I would probably choose to lose my sense of smell, because I feel like all of the other senses are very essential to everyday life, and smell just kind of seems like an obsolete thing sometimes and is actually gets in the way of some things once in a while when you're smelling something you don't want to.
Spencer Hoffman, Bay Aranac ISD. If there was a fire in your house and you could only save one thing, what would it be? If there was a fire in your house and you could only save one thing, what would it be?
Hello. If those things would be counted as humans, then I'd probably save my little sister. However, if it was an actual thing, I think I would probably save a small box of mementos I have from family, because those are the things you can't replace. Thank you.
Justin Kelly, Clarenceville High School. If you were any brew of coffee, what would you be and why? If you were any brew of coffee, what would you be and why?
Hi. If I was any brew of coffee, I would say I would be Colombian roast, because to me that seems like the most unique brand of coffee that not many people know about, which I think fits me well. Thank you.
Mary Pufal, Swan Valley High School. What is the most important lesson of your life so far? What is the most important lesson of your life so far?
The most important lesson of my life so far has been to live every day with no regrets, because we never get a chance to redo a day in our life, so we should make the most of what we get. Thank you.
Brandon Markle, Byron High School. Tell us about an event in your life that has changed your outlook. Tell us about an event in your life that has changed your outlook.
An event in my life that has changed my outlook, we could probably go 2 ways with this. Talking about BPA, definitely banking and finance, that's what I want to do when I'm older. So that has taught me, to go above my original boundaries and to pursue my career.
Jacob Thurkelson, Bedford High School. Name one person who has made a difference in your life and describe how. Name one person who has made a difference in your life and describe how.
One person who had made a difference in my life would be my mom. She's always taught me to work hard and push for things that you want, and you shall receive if you truly desire it.
Arhat Shrivastava, H.H. Dow High School. How would your best friend describe you? How would your best friend describe you?
Hello, everyone. My best friend would describe me as someone who is extroverted and still kind and nice to people, likes to interact with people, loves bringing people together. Yeah, thank you.
Jordan Smith, Newaygo County Career Center. What are you most looking forward to in this next year? What are you most looking forward to in this next year?
Good evening. As a senior in high school, I think the one thing that I'm definitely most looking forward to in the next year is obviously going to college, just because it's a chance I get to start my life. You know, every kid that is getting to the point in their age where they're about ready to move out of the house, move on, it's definitely something to look forward to. Thank you.
Jessica Ruby, DeWitt High School. What is the most important characteristic of a great leader? What is the most important characteristic of a great leader?
Hi. I think the most important characteristic of a great leader would definitely be integrity, because leaders are someone that you're supposed to follow and trust. And if their integrity is intact, then trust comes pretty easy with that. So I think that that's a really important part of it. Thank you.
Emily Reeves, Ithaca High School. How would your life be different without BPA? How would your life be different without BPA?
Hello. Without BPA, I don't think I would have the confidence to stand here on this stage today. 3 years ago, I was terrified to talk in front of people. And now, through BPA and doing speaking events and gaining that confidence, I've definitely gained the capabilities to be a strong leader and to have the confidence to speak in front of all of you. Thank you.
Severi Nandingama, Mercy High School. If you could be anybody else for a day, living or dead, who would you be and why? If you could be anybody else for a day, living or dead, who would you be and why?
If I could be anybody else, I would definitely want to be my father, because I think he's one of the most hardworking individuals ever, and I would like to gain a perspective on how he got his work ethic so I can apply it to my life.
Alexander Hill, St. John's High School. What is one skill you wish you had or would like to learn? What is one skill you wish you had or would like to learn?
If I could learn one skill, I would definitely want to learn how to be a better artist, be able to paint, be able to play an instrument, just so I could express myself in different ways and show who I really am.
Benjamin Engelhart, Tuscola Technology Center.
Here you go.
Thank you. What is your fondest memory as a member of BPA? What is your fondest memory as a member of BPA?
I remember a memory quite vividly. It was at the officer training. I spoke during one of the focus groups, and I did extremely well. And actually, Meredith Moore gave me an application to sign up to do this. And it makes me think how things could have gone entirely differently. Thank you.
This will conclude the impromptu questions.
Good luck to all candidates. The next item of business is the second report of the Credentials Committee. The chair recognizes Vice President Membership Meredith Moore.
Mr. President, attached is a list of the names of the voting members of the conference as of 6:30 p.m. The committee reports that there are the following number of delegates entitled to vote, 210. In addition, the committee reports the following number of non-voting delegates present. Elected officers, 9. Past presidents of Michigan BPA, 7. Past national officers, 3. Alumni, 51. Chapter members, 1,745. Guests, 317. Total number in attendance, 2,342. On behalf of the committee, I move that the roll of delegates hereby submitted be the official roll of voting and non-voting delegates at the conference.
Are there any questions on the report? Hearing none, we will proceed to vote on the Credentials Committee report. All voting delegates in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The report is adopted. Madam Secretary, do you know of any further business which should be transacted at this time?
I have none, Mr. President.
Are there any announcements?
Mr. President, I would like to make an announcement that if your chapter name was not called during the roll, the voting delegates of that chapter should see a state officer immediately following this session. In addition, the Parade of Presidents will begin at 7:30 p.m. All voting delegates that are in the Parade of Presidents should meet the state officers outside the doors of the ballroom to my right immediately following this session. More instructions will be given at that time.
Are there any other announcements? We are about to adjourn the annual business meeting of Michigan Association Business Professionals of America. As we associate together, let us be supportive of each other as we strive to attain the goals of this organization. If there is no objection, I now declare this meeting adjourned. I now declare this meeting adjourned.